Hello, folks. Welcome to the second episode of Cricket Fantasy Experts. And in today's World Cup preview, we are going to bring to you three teams which are going to be the challenger teams, I would say, in this World Cup. But you wouldn't be able to take any of these teams for granted. So we'll have New Zealand, South Africa, and Sri Lanka covered in today's episode. Sumit, we'll start with New Zealand. Over to you.
Sure, I think everybody's second favorite team outside their own home country. New Zealand, they have been the perennial bridesmaids, if I may say so, at any World Cup event. I think it was really heartening for all of us to see them win the World Test Championship, even though it was ahead of India. I think both England and New Zealand played out probably what is the greatest one-day international in the 2019 final. So they would want to go one step further. It's been pretty similar to actually Belgium in football. It's been the golden generation for New Zealand, but I think it will probably be a tough ride for them. This is a team that always punches above its weight. It's a team that knows how to be greater than the sum of its part, and I think that's been their biggest strength in any World Cup event. Along with that, I think they have probably the greatest new ball threat outside of Shaheen Afridi, which is Trent Bolt. I think even though he's outside of central contracts, etc., he remains the finest white ball bowler with the new ball. The weakness, I think, given their experience, I think it's a aging squad. A lot of their players seem to be beyond their prime, and given the hectic nature of travel, it might be tough for them to keep up. So I think that's the concern for me. Apart from batting, while they have a galaxy of stars in probably a Conway and Williamson and Latham in Indian conditions. Mitchell has been good in recent times. There's not a lot of reliable players that I see, or like match winning players who can take the game away on their own. But one opportunity that I see, because the number of all rounders that they have, they can probably, if they shed their inhibitions, try and follow the England template, which is potentially bat deep and just take on any score that is either set in front of them, or if they are batting first. So they can look to bat first, because even Santner, Sodhi are really good batsmen or good batters, right? Amongst the threats, I think they have taken a huge risk. Saudi is still injured, and they're carrying him in the squad. Williamson, we are not fully sure. He's shown some good form in the warm-up matches, but he's likely to miss the first match. So you're never sure how much he'll be able to cope up with the injury. In terms of team selection, the starting 11, I've gone with Conway to open along with Young, followed by, of course, Williamson at number 3. Latham comes at number 4 for me, followed by the firepower of Mitchell, Phillips, and I've gone with Jimmy Neesham as at number 7. Then I think Sodhi and Santner, depending on the situation, either of them can come. And for fast bowling, I've gone with Matt Henry ahead of Ferguson till the time Saudi recovers. You can, of course, pick Ferguson as well. And, of course, Bowl to round it out. In terms of my predictions for New Zealand, I think Conway is suited for Indian conditions. He is very likely going to be their mainstay in batting, even ahead of Williamson, and he is likely to end up as the highest run scorer. In terms of highest wicket taker, I think Bolt will run away with the awards, even like just with his power play performances. But in terms of finish, I know New Zealand has finished in the top 4, I think, for the last probably 6 or 7 tournaments. But I really struggle to see them making the top 4. Of course, they'll be in contention, but may just end up missing on the top 4. So my prediction is probably in top 5 or top 6 for New Zealand. Over to Akshay, I think, for Sri Lanka.
South Africa.
Okay, South Africa.
Yes, thanks, Sumit. So along with New Zealand, I think South Africa has been the second perennial bridesmaid in World Cup history. They have been historically a cricketing powerhouse. undoubtedly having an extremely rich cricketing history starting the 1992 World Cup. However, in terms of them peaking at the right time, I think they have a very well-known tag of chokers because they have not been able to clinch the right moments right from 1992 until the 2015 World Cup. Post 2015, I think the cricket South Africa has been in some kind of turmoil with retirement of seniors, political struggle in terms of the cricketing board. So all of that has led to a flux in the South African team. And as a result of which, a lot of multi-nation tournaments that have happened from 2015 to 2023, they have never really started as strong contenders. However, coming 2023, I don't think any team will be able to ignore Proteas. They enter the tournament as a pretty settled unit, and in my opinion, they are a team with extremely strong individual performers. But it will be very interesting to see how Temba Bavuma as a leader holds them all together and drives the team through his leadership. But as individuals, I think they have all bases covered in terms of batting, bowling, as well as in their spin department as well. Coming to their strengths, I think if again I have to talk about individuals, they have an extremely settled batting lineup. I think probably the most settled batting lineup in this World Cup with Quinton, Brassy van der Dussen, and Klaassen, who are the who are among the top 10 ODI batters in the world right now. In their top six, that itself calls out how strong a batting lineup they are. And when I add to that the middle order stability that Markram would add, followed by the firepower of Miller and Janssen, I think it ends up comprising a pretty potent top six, along with Temba Bavuma to open with Quinton de Kock. So I feel that batting is their extremely strong suit, and conditions at Ahmedabad, Bombay, Pune, Dharamshala, where you might just get flat pitches, would very much suit the South African side. Uh, in addition, I think all these players who are playing for South Africa this time have ample IPL experience, so have pretty good understanding of the conditions, even in stadiums where they might not play to their strongest suit. So overall, I think in terms of batting, they have their bases covered. In terms of bowling as well, with Rabada, Ngidi, Jansen providing the all-round ability as well as having that strike power right up front, followed by the spin of Shamsi, Maharaj, that would comprise a pretty potent bowling lineup. So I feel that they have all their bases covered in terms of batting as well as bowling. The only piece here is in terms of their team combination. I think while they'll have Rabada, Ngidi, and one spinner going across all matches, but the fourth bowler and how Jansen performs when put under pressure would be very interesting to see how the balanced 20 overs get covered, because those balanced 20 overs might very well decide where the game goes playing against any opposition, because most of the oppositions will probably try and target those 20 overs to maximize their runs. So that happens to be their only weakness, in my opinion. Going with their 11, as I said, they have a very settled top seven with Temba, Quinton, Van der Dussen, Markram, Klaassen, Miller, and Jansen as their top seven. The interesting part would be whether Kodzi or Felukwao would get a look in. And apart from that, I think it would be Maharaj, Rabada, and on spinning wickets, it might go with they might just go with a Shamsi. On flat good decks where they might want fast bowlers to extract more from the wicket, they might just stick with Ngidi. So that's my 11. While I wouldn't have saw this coming early, like probably a year ago, but I see them qualifying for semifinals this year. And if they keep behind their choker tag, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they go all the way. Moving to the next team, Sri Lanka, which will be covered by Sattam. Over to you, Sattam.
Yeah. Thanks, Akshay. Coming to Sri Lanka, my honest opinion is that they will be the dark horse of this tournament. They are entering the tournament with not much expectations, and honestly, nothing much to look forward to on pen and paper. But having said that, and having observed their performance in the recent Asia Cup, obviously apart from the final, uh, I feel that they have a balanced, well settled unit apart from a few glitches here and there. And it all depends on the day. There have been quite a few players who are quite talented and playing well in patches. It's all about coming together as a unit and delivering consistently, at least for 5 or 6 matches. They will definitely deliver a couple of upsets. Now, if they can stretch it to maybe 4 or 5 matches, a winning run or a winning sprint, they would give a very close. They would be give a very close fighting chance to get into the top four. Um, apart from balance, what I feel is that they have decent batters who can who can stay on the wicket, milk the middle overs, and who know the subcontinental conditions. A few of them, or rather, most of them are quite experienced. They have again an excellent spin trio. Obviously, they will be missing out on Hasaranga, but Thiksana is going to be their lead spinner, and with flashes of brilliance from Vela Lage. And we have seen that Asalanka can bowl a fair hand on spin. Even in Pacers, Pathirana is going to be their lead pacer, supported to some extent by Shanaka and either Madhushanka or Rajika. The main weakness the team has is that probably they don't have too many backups apart from their the starting 11. It will be a pretty straightforward starting 11. Uh, and the but as I said, the biggest opportunity will be that there are a lot of experienced seasoned players and there are a lot of young players who can come into the foray and prove themselves. So it depends a lot on how they gel together as a unit and play to the situation. Uh, the biggest threat will be gelling together the team. So I think captaincy is going to be one important suit where where Sri Lanka as a team and Shanaka as an individual has to really prove their mettle. And apart from that, Pathirana is actually a death over specialist. So I see their initial overs. We need someone to give them a good start with the ball. Now coming to the starting 11, I will have Nisanka to open with Pereira, followed by Mendes, Samar Vikrama, and now comes my hypothesis that teams which have very strong 5 to 8 will definitely have an advantage in this World Cup. So the Sri Lanka's 5 to 8 on paper looks to be probably the strongest, if not one of the strongest. So they have Asha Lanka at 5, Dhananjay De Silva at 6, Shanaka at 7, and Velalage at 8. Then followed by Tiksana, Pathirana, and either one of Madhusanka or Rachita. So, as I said, they are the dark horse. They will definitely cause a few upsets, and if they gel together as a unit, I'm sure there will be a photo finish for top four.
That's about South Africa. Over to Sri Lanka with Satam.